let us do the first installment of our Versus series. This is an idea that our social maven, Javion Duncan, came up with years ago that we use on the Twitters, on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks, on the TikToks to get your thoughts on which do you think is more or better, right? So this one actually came out of a USFL player interview that I performed with former Ohio State wide receiver Johnny Dixon, who also played on the New Orleans Breakers this year and last. And he had basically said, who wouldn't want to play for Brian Hartline, as I was talking to him about just what the reputation of playing wide receiver at Ohio State has transitioned to in the last decade. So when we put that bit out on social, y'all responded with, did y'all just forget that LSU exists? Oh, wait. Do you know that LSU has been really great at producing wide receivers? To which, fine, I will take you up on that. Let's find out. Since you want to know who has been better at producing wide receivers, LSU or Ohio State, I have come up with a way to identify a winner here. And I'm going to say this, and I need you to hear me. This is not a wide receiver U segment. Okay? This is not WRU. This is LSU versus the Ohio State. Okay. Now that we have that said, you should know the formula for which I use to identify which one of these programs has been best at producing wide receivers. So the NFL draft gets the heaviest weight in any of these metrics because that is why most players in college football are playing college football. So they can get to the NFL. And they can get to the NFL at the earliest possible moment. And frankly, if we're being real cute about it, the guy drafted first got into the NFL before the guy drafted last in the same draft. That's just how it works. So that's one way. The other way is, did you have a bunch of first-round draft picks? The other way is, did you have guys that were drafted? And the other way is, did you win a positional award? In this case, it would be the Biletnikoff Award. So this means that you don't get as much credit for Michael Thomas being drafted in the first round or in second round, as you do for Odell Beckham Jr. getting drafted in the first. But you do get credit for Michael Thomas being an All-Pro, which, again, I have given points for. You do get credit for being an All-Pro and winning these awards, okay? And the point system is fairly simple. But this is mostly so I can talk about Michael Thomas probably being worth more in the Ohio State calculus, who even if he was drafted second round because he's an All-Pro, this is because Anthony Gonzalez was drafted in the first round in 2007. Not only was he not an All-Pro, but he had enough time to play in the NFL and then run for Congress, win his seat as the representative for the 16th District of Ohio, serve his term, and be out the door in January of this year. You might say a lot has happened in the past 15 years. That's also the thing that you need to take into account. I don't take this back farther than 15 years. The game changes. The decades are different. The coaches are different. The styles of play are different. I can tell you that Ohio State defensive lineman, Big Bill Bell, is one of the best defensive linemen Ohio State has ever produced and one of the most significant figures that they've ever produced. He went down to FAMU after leaving Ohio State and helped build a program. But if you put Big Bill Bell up against Chase Young's probably going to tear him in half. Okay? So we don't go past 15 years when we're talking about these things. All right. Knowing all of that, let's take a look at what the NFL has thought about Ohio State and LSU. But I'm going to be clear about the point system here, and you can follow along. Pause the tape if you need to. You get 1 point for each round for which you had a player drafted from second to seventh. After the first round, it doesn't much matter to me. It doesn't much matter to you, frankly, because we don't count second round draft picks. We count first round draft picks. Okay. You get 15 points for a first round draft pick. You get 18 points for an all-pro selection. You get 25 points for a Biletnikoff Award winner. The reason that you get 25 for a Biletnikoff Award is because you could have more than one all-pro player from your university on the same team. You can only have one Biletnikoff Award winner from anywhere in any year. That's why the extra 7 points are there. Okay, So if we're taking a look at this, I went back to 2000, right? I took it past 15 years to 20 just to be fair. Okay. 2004, Drew Carter came out, 5th round. Michael Jenkins came out in the 4th. This is Ohio State. 06, Santonio Holmes, you'll know, went in the 1st. In 07, Roy Hall went in the 5th, but Ted Ginn Jr. and Anthony Gonzalez went in 2007 in the 1st, right? In 09, Brian Hartline, who's a wide receiver coach now, it's been that long, went in the 4th. Brian Robisky went in the 2nd. In 12, DeVere Posey went in the 3rd. In 15, Evan Spencer went in the 6th, and Devin Smith went in the 2nd. In 16, Braxton Miller went in the 3rd, and Michael Thomas went in the 2nd. 17, Noah Brown went in the 7th. Curtis Samuel went in the 2nd. 19, Terry McLaurin went in the 3rd. Paris Campbell went in the 2nd. In 20, KJ Hill went in the 7th. And then in 22, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave both went in the 1st. And then in 23, Jackson Smith and Jigma went in the 1st. So I did the math so you don't have to. Ohio State had 6 first-round draft picks, including Holmes, Ginn, Gonzalez, Wilson, Olave, and JSN. Okay? 15 points times 6, 90 points. They also had 21 total players drafted, but 15 of those were drafted in the 2nd or later. So that's 15 points. Of this group, only Michael Thomas is an all-pro. Only Michael Thomas, 18 points. Okay? Of this group, no one won a Biletnikoff Award. As a matter of fact, you got to take it back to 1995 for a Biletnikoff Award winner from Ohio State, Terry Glenn. Okay, so the total, according to the ruling, is 123 points from Ohio State. Can LSU do better than 123? Well, let's find out. In 2003, Josh Reed went in the 2nd round. In 04, Michael Clayton went in the 1st. Devery Henderson, went in the 2nd. In 06, Benny Brazel went in the 7th, and Skylar Green went in the 4th. In 07, I forgot about this, man. Craig Davis and Dwayne Bowe went in the 1st. In 08, Early Doucette went in the 3rd. He was a monster. In 09, Demetrius Byrd went in the 7th. He is a monster. In 10, Trendon Holiday went in the 6th. Brandon LaFell went in the 3rd. Quickly, Trendon Holiday broke my heart because that man was going to run on the Olympic team, and I kid you not, he chose not to go to the Olympics so he could return kicks at LSU. I ain't never been so mad. I ain't never been. Short King could have been out there winning us a gold medal, and he want to return kicks. And what's he do? He gets drafted in the 6th. In 2012, Ruben Randall went in the 2nd. In 2014, James Wright went in the 7th. Jarvis Landry went in the 2nd. Odell Beckham Jr. went in the 1st. In 17, Malachi Dupree went in the 7th. In 18, Russell Gage went in the 6th. DJ Chark went in the 2nd. In 20, of course, Justin Jefferson went in the 1st over Oklahoma's dead body in the college football playoff at the Peach Bowl. Didn't nobody know nothing about no Justin Jefferson until he decided to take Justin Burrows' head off. And now Justin Jefferson is one of the 2 best wide receivers in the NFL. Go figure. In 2021, Racing McMath went in the 6th. Terrace Marshall went in the 6th. And Jamar Chase went in the 1st. And then this year, Keyshawn Butte went in the 6th. So LSU had 6 drafted in the 1st. Clayton, Davis, Bowe, Odell, Jefferson, Jamar. 90 points. Same as Ohio State. But they had 22 players drafted. And 16 of them were drafted in the 2nd or later. So that's 16 points. One more than Ohio State. Of this group, there's only one All-Pro. Odell. Hello. Justin Jefferson. He's the only All-Pro. Only one. Same as Ohio State. One All-Pro. However, and this is the big one, there have not just been 1, but 2 Biletnikoff Award winners at LSU in the past 20 years. Josh Reed in 01 and Jamar Chase in 2019. That's 50 points. So LSU totaled up to 174 points to 123 for Ohio State because they produced 2 Biletnikoff Award winners and 1 more draft pick than Ohio State. That's the difference. 1 more draft pick and 2 Biletnikoff Award winners to 0. I know the scoreboard is not going to show that to be very close, but I just showed you why it was. 1 more one more pick, not first round, 1 more pick and 2 Biletnikoff Award winners. And remember, you can only have 1 Biletnikoff Award winner each and every year from anywhere. And that has to be taken into account. All right. So LSU is better at producing wide receivers than Ohio State. And for the last time, this is not a wide receiver U segment. It's LSU versus Ohio State. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.